Hello, you all. Welcome to this special edition of Lectio Musica, the place for great lyrics, great music, and great meaning. My name is Guilain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada, and I love rock music for a long time now, and especially hard rock, metal, and prog. Once a week, we stop for a little while. We listen to a song very closely. We look at the words, the musical construction of the song, and the meaning. And what does that song mean? And that way, we progressed for a little bit more than a year and 4 months now through the repertoire of Nightwish, Rush, Epica, and we will continue in the coming years, slowly but surely, like we say in French. I just finished a whole series on the new album of Epica called Omega. Let me give you the screen in a second. This album is called Omega. It's made of an opening and 11 songs. So last week I just finished the reaction video and the analysis of the 11th song. And this video here will be my general appreciation of the album as a whole. So that's more than 22 videos on the last album. I think I can say a few things about it. And don't forget that last summer, a year ago, I did what I call top 10 song to fall in love with Epica. So you can find out these videos on my channel. 10 reactions and 10 analysis of 10 songs that the fans gave to me and say, hey, listen to these songs, listen to this song, listen to this song. So that was done in the summer of 2020, and I didn't know at the time that Epica was about to come out with a new album, and some of the fans told me, hey, there will be a new album in February, March, or something like that. So, what? I was really surprised and happy. So I did slowly, like I say, slowly but surely. I did the whole album, and this is why today I take the time to, let's say, wrap up the whole thing and to give me the general appreciation of the album. Don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel. Listening great music, recommendation by the fans. I truly love doing that. Once a week, it's great, and we have developed a wonderful connection with a lot of fans. So be part of the adventure. I will tell you what is about to come in the coming weeks. So for now, this is my way of making an evaluation of any album in general. These are, I would say, categories that I personally like to look closely at. The different elements that are parts of this. So I gave points, but I will not tell you how many points I gave for every section. But I will give you my general appreciation. But this is how what is the elements and the importance I give to every element. So in terms of music, the evaluation of the album, in terms of music, in terms of lyrics, prosody is a category that I'm quite strong, is the combination of words and music. This is an art that is very subtle but very important. What we call the interpreters, the way that the musicians and the singers, they do their job on this album in performing their own music or someone else's music. It could be someone else's music. You can see that I give quite a lot of points and importance to the meaning of the album. This is part of my identity. This is part of who I am. The whole thing with the series is lyrics, music, and meaning. So I'm probably one of the very few who give a lot of points on the meaning of the song. To me, the reason I want to go back to a song is because of the meaning. Um, I will listen and appreciate a great song in terms of music and lyrics. But the reason why I will go back to a song and keep it in my playlist and wanting to listen to it for 10, 20, 30 years will be the meaning. So this is why I give such an important part on this one. And then the production value of the album. Is it well recorded? Is it well mixed? This is simply an opinion again, but I have reason to say that I might have one or two things to say on this. In terms of music now, the album Omega by Epica. What do I think of it? The album is complex, rich, and satisfying to me in terms of music, both from a metal point of view and from a broader, a general point of view, I would say, of music in general. Any musician, whatever their field is, they can recognize in another field. They will say it's not my style, it's not my type of music, but I can hear the beautiful melodies. And Epica is quite strong on melodies. I will say it just a little bit further. And the arrangements and everything, I think it is a gorgeous album. The teaming up of all the members produces a very, very rich landscapes. I will call this. We are in sometimes with some bands, it's only one landscape. One type of music. Here we have a palette of flavors, Middle Eastern, very metal, but always melodic metal. So for me, it's a very satisfying album. And in fact, with the addition of orchestral, instrumental, acoustic versions of the songs, I think it's way beyond expectations. This means that this album and this, I would say, creation called Omega goes far beyond what most musicians and groups, bands, metal band will give today. The album itself would be fully, I would say, satisfying. But when you add everything that is offered, I find this completely, they are out of their mind, these guys. They gave us, wow, incredible. For me, there's only one question mark. I don't understand, maybe I don't understand the musical decision of Seal of Solomon, both musically and in terms of lyrics. But this is, I would say this is a very not important in the general perspective. In every album, there's one song or two I don't particularly like. I don't dislike them, but this one, yeah. But the rest, wow. For me, that's very strong. I would say for me, if I have to give a mark on this one, it would be a 20 on 20. Okay, for this. Now, in terms of lyrics, there are two main lyricists. There is, in this album, maturity in the writing. These people, they know what to do. They know how to do things. They are very good at it. In terms of English poetry, we can say there's richness, there's symbolism. There's also what I would call effectiveness in in sending the message through. And this is the little thing that I would say, some of the songs are overly complicated to me and inaccessible to the modern reader. The song taken by itself or within the frame of the whole album is not understandable from my point of view again. it needs outside references or even sometimes some kind of secret meaning of the songs. I don't find this satisfying. It's not the whole album though, few songs, but to me I'm not sure why this is like this. I will tell a little bit more in the meaning section, but the fact that you combine sources that are very different is a tricky thing, and I'm not sure it's always a good result at the end. But I have to say that about the intricacies, we say intricacies in English, the complexité of the human heart with a psychological touch. I would say that Epica is quite in a league by itself. This is where Epica shines, this dimension. And to me, when you bring sources from very different traditions, you need to have a very strong, very strong frame of reference, which for Epica could be a psychological frame. But trying to blend together sources that are completely different, there's a tendency in some of the songs to bring together things that are from different sources and making them look like they talk about the same thing, but in fact when you read them they do not talk about the same thing. So to me this is the weaker part of their writing. There's an interest for the great religions, there's an interest for the great questions of life, but sometimes there's it doesn't go as far as it could be. It could go. I'll come back on that. As for the prosody, the art of combining lyrics and music, for me, Epica is growling at its best. Even if there are question marks on once or twice, I'm not sure why Mark decided to growl these sections. I don't understand why. Maybe there are reasons. But I would say that 98% of the time it makes perfect sense. To me, Mark is the perfect example of growling well used. It makes sense, it's meaningful, and the effect it produces is sometimes paradoxal, but it's great, really. There is the one I prefer among all of metal growlers. I really miss, just a small note here, I really miss Mark's words, lyrics in the orchestral versions. If you don't want to put growling Mark in the orchestral version, we still need the lyrics to have a full picture. And this is where I wished many times that there would have been an actor just speaking the words, or of course a singer could do the job if there's some kind of melody that can be written as it was for the first song in the acoustic version. Simone sings on some of the words that Mark growls. That would have been wonderful for this section by Mark, but this is just a small parenthesis. It's just a small comment, by the way. Sometimes there are surprising combination, a very poppy sounding chorus, but the topic is severe, is grave, is dark in a way. But if in other band it could have been not a great blend, with Epica it's always possible to decode and understand why they chose to do that. It always makes sense. And this is why I love so much Epica. They make sense. To me, they make sense 98% of the time. It's very rarely I would say, why they do that? And in many other bands, I say that a lot. Here, very rarely, in very complex songs. So very satisfying here in terms of blending of the lyrics and the music. The contribution of the great composers of the band. Now, I don't know them personally. I suspect that the keyboardist Isaac, I suspect that Mark, Simone are the main elements of composing the melodies, making the arrangements. Probably there are outside help for the orchestral portion. Maybe it's the keyboardist or the guitarist. I don't know. What I know is that there are in that band or close to that band great composers. And I will say something that I really say. I can hear that the melodic composers, those who composes the melody, those who write or make the arrangement, they really listen to the words. So this means that even if it's a collective work, we see a very tightly knit musical compositions, very, very well done. They know how to listen and they know how to express the words in music. Beautiful. This is an element absolutely remarkable in Epica. I really appreciate this element. Now, let's go to the next in terms of interpretation, the musicianship of the musicians, the quality of the voices and everything. The rhythm section does wonders on this album. The drum bass guitar is phenomenal. I don't remember, especially the way that the orchestra, the classical orchestra, is really tightly knit with the rhythm section, to the point that the rhythm section adopts in certain sections a very classical way of playing. Well, they will enhance the accents of the song, the elements of the melody, the accents of the strings of the orchestra in a way that I haven't seen that much. Even in symphonic metal, I haven't seen that. Very often, you will have a symphonic metal rhythm section that will go pretty much on its way, and then you will have the orchestral orchestration behind. They are not well connected. But this here, first class at this level. Now, the vocal abilities of Epica are for me very difficult to match by a band because to me the growling is perfect. The choir as a character in almost every song is beyond comparison for me. I don't know. Some people say look at the one other band. I will certainly look at this band again to see how it matches Epica in the use of choir. But the choir is a full character, a full element of Epica, a full place, and this is quite unique, to be frank. The female lead voice of Simone, I see how her voice, the evolution of her voice since the very first album, I remember quite well. In fact, the first song I listened to Epica was one of their first songs, and she, with maturity, she had a laser clean voice, precise. She is a beautiful soprano, precise, clean, powerful. She can do whatever she wants. She does it very well. This being said, I would understand someone saying, I don't like that kind of voice in a metal symphonic band. It's a matter of taste here. Some people I know don't like that evolution of Simone, I personally find it unavoidable, because when the person matures as a singer, she will have precision, uh, she will have clarity, and we can see that she has that both on the records and live. And to cut through a metal mix, you have to have that kind of very precise, focused voice. She is, I think she is at the top of her life. She is excellent. Personally, I love her. I would say now I've heard probably 75% of their repertoire. I would say I love her on 85% of their material. Once in a while, I don't feel that kind of voice on that particular song. It happened one time in this album as well, but apart from that, it's I would say it's remarkable. Now, um, it Epica relies on text. These are songs very strong on text. The voices are very important, and they are really, the texts are remarkably served by Epica. This is a great band. I love them very much. In terms of interpretation, for me, it is very high. If it's not perfect, it's 19 over 20 or something like that. As for the meaning, you know that I gave a lot of points on this element. So, Epica has a really musically, and also in terms of text, they are interested in everything, in science, in great religions. In this album, there is an interest for esoteric documentation, alchemists, and whatever is I would say, the background of the text we read. They like to search everywhere, and they love to combine in a united vision of life, death, human soul, and with a strong psychological and spiritual emphasis. So this is quite unique. I can say I don't see that many bands going into that world and being able to tackle difficult questions in terms of religion, science, generally quite well, very well. There is a certain understanding of the human destiny and its place in the universe. Of course, you know that I don't understand the universe as a Christian, as a priest, as a friar. I don't understand the universe like a big. Well, I won't go into details. You know what I'm talking about if you listen to some of the analysis of the songs. So I don't necessarily agree with it, but I recognize that is what they do, and I think I understand most of the lyrics and the meaning they want to convey in their songs. So and I appreciate that they have I would say, a psychological and spiritual identity as well as a musical identity. They want to express themselves very well. The only things I really think I'm not comfortable with, I will say it like that, is the fact that they get some bits and pieces from great religions, esoteric sources, and psychological and scientific documentation. They get a certain understanding of the world, and to me, even within their own framework, it doesn't always work. There are shifts in the vocabulary that brings, I would say, confusion in their own understanding of the world. To the point that you ask yourself here, what is the meaning of dark or shadow, or what is the and is it moral, is it spiritual, is it how you always there. And in some songs, the multiplicity of meanings is a gift. It's richness. To me, sometimes in Epica, it's confusion. We don't know what they're talking about. What is it that they're aiming at? And for me, this is, in terms of meaning, that's the weak spot of Epica. Uh, I love them, I love their quests, but I find sometimes, yeah, a little bit more precision, and especially for me, it doesn't make sense at all if your song isn't, you can, people cannot understand it. For now, let's go with the last section of the production. Generally, it's an excellent production. It's the capture of all the instruments. Very, oh, what a beautiful. Uh, the, the, the numbers of instruments on that album is out of this world. I mean, wow! And the work they have to do, the engineers, sound engineers, they have to be specialized and trying to understand the Indians instruments and then the percussions from North Africa and. Oh my lord, it's really wonderful, you know. The capture of the song, the mixing is excellent. I have very few bad comment to make on the whole album and the orchestral version as well. Now, there are a few parts of Simone that I would have asked her to do a little bit otherwise. But here it's a matter of taste. I mean, this is my taste and someone else's taste, and it's not because it's not well done. It's simply that as in the booth in the studio, I would have said to Simone, would you try to do this a little bit more, a little bit more in the head voice, or would you try it a little bit more like operatic voice here? But this is nothing compared to the whole thing. It's a what a beautiful album, and I might say even albums and or EP and whatever that was produced during that time, this crazy pandemic period. And so it is a symphonic metal recording, which means it's a beast by itself. I mean, in itself, two different kind of orchestras, a choir, backing vocals, metal section, growling, all of this makes it very complex. To me, it's A plus on this side of the album. Great. So altogether for me, it's a 4.5 stars. So this is very, very high. There are 4.5 that I would say are closer to the 5 stars. There are 4.5 that are closer to the they are really on exactly on 4.5. That's for me a 4.5. There are a few points of dissatisfaction on the album for me, but generally speaking, it's a very high level album, among the very best of this year. I'm pretty sure it will be right there at the top. So for me, this is a very, very satisfying album. In August, I'm done with Epica, with the album for now. I will certainly go back to some of their composition at one point in the next years. In August, I will begin a new series that I call Introducing Liliac. I will do 5 videos on the very active and very young metal band. They are between 14 and 21 years old band. And they make covers for almost ages now, and original that are they really worth to. And I will do something new, like I will have 2-3 songs per, and I will comment, and just to make a little bit of change during the summer. I thought it would be a good idea, and I will do that here and there for other groups, other bands as well. Now, in September, I will go back to, I will conclude my journey through Nightwish's repertoire. The only albums I have to cover now are Dark Passion Play, Imaginarium, and Endless Fall, Most Beautiful. So what we call the Annettes and Floors era. And the premiere of the Liliac, you can see that the premiere now will be on Fridays, beginning on August 13. Friday, August 13, 1:30 in North America will be the beginning of the Liliac adventure, and Nightwish will be beginning on Friday, September 17th, 1:30 again. So it will be a blessing again to have you all and to look at the lyrics, the music, and everything. Don't forget, you can subscribe, push the little bell beside the subscribe button so that you can be notified as soon as a new video comes out. So as for now, I say hello to all of you. It will be nice to see you after my vacation. I'm going away for a little while, but I will be there after, and we will continue our journey into music, meaning, and lyrics. Bye bye for now.